Finger of fudge.
Oh, Trevor.
Sorry.
That's your own private affair. So, eat your fudge, Trev! Eat your finger of fudge!
A little bit slow there, weren't you?
Oh, come on. So, yeah, I was used to do this English class, and you have to just go through the book, saying things like, I open my umbrella when it's raining, and that's the way they're learning the word umbrella, and you have to sort of, it's a very systematic way of teaching them, but they only give you a week's training, then they just let you loose in a class full of strangers, right? And I was a drug addict then, so I used to just, like, take loads of drugs, go in that class, really off my head, and just sort of just talk to them about trying to chat them up, really. I taught them some English.
I think you were probably quite a good teacher.
I was, actually, because I was very engaging, know. Come on, let's learn this English, let's bloody well do it. Right, you've got to learn how to say yes pretty quickly, or I'm looking at a 10 stretch. It's stuff like that, essentially. But then once I got bored of doing the job, I should go down the park and just take drugs. Like, F off down the park, take some drugs, just light drugs, awful though they were. And then, so we just sit in the park in Soho in London, and, like, smoke loads of dope and that, and then go back. And if I go, I notice Russell's class don't seem to be learning very much English, and they're all nervous, jittery, and paranoid. What is that? He's teaching them some odd stuff. And then I sort of started to increasingly get in trouble, and of course, because of my habits, I would, like, sometimes, seduce them and that. And, like, so just chat people up like a person would, like a young single person would. Nice to chat people up, if anything. And then, like, right, and then they found out that I was doing really bad at my job, and there was this one time I wanted to go off on holiday. I goes, can I have 2 weeks holiday, please?
This is terrible,
yeah, this is a bit bad, this. I goes, can I have a 2-week holiday, please? They goes, no, you can't have a 2-week holiday, you've got to do your job. I go, bloody hell. So I just went on a 2-week holiday, right, and then come back after the 2-week holiday. I goes, where you been? I was, oh, I've got some terrible news. They goes, what's that? I goes, yeah, I had to have 2 weeks off because I've got AIDS. They went, what? I goes, yep, AIDS I've got. And they, obviously no one believed me, but because it's such a terrible, awful thing to say, such a terrible lie, people couldn't question it, because they'd think, surely no one in their right mind would say that. No one in their right mind would. I wasn't in my right mind. So I sort of got away with it, right? And they just had to say, everyone, like, where I work, sort of just thought, that's that bloke who's claimed to have AIDS just so that he could have a 2-week holiday in Spain.
If someone believed you and they watch you on telly now, think, oh, he's getting thinner.
Oh dear, that would be awful, that'd be awful. I really should never have told that lie, but it was working on Hitler's edict that the bigger the lie you tell, the more people will believe you. Although I'm not suggesting...
That was Hitler's edict, was it?
Hitler told that lie first.
What was his big lie?
He said it's good to kill people on account of their religion or because they're like gypsies or they're gay or something, when in fact it's bad to do that.
So you were taking your cues from Hitler?
I've always, when I'm in a moral dilemma, Matt, I ask myself, what would Hitler do in this situation? Now, what would good old Archie Hitler, not Adolf Hitler, he was a terrible man, but his younger brother Archie.
He'd lie that he's got AIDS. Brilliant. Here I go.
Hitler would soon find his way out of this problem with a little loophole known as, I've got AIDS now, unfortunately, so I'll have to have a few more examples. Terrible thing to do. Terrible, really bad thing that I've done there in the past while I was on drugs. Can't do me for it because I've stopped taking drugs and I'm all nice now. So anyway, that was that bit of a job. So you're right, when I had normal jobs, it was not a good thing because I couldn't make myself do it. I just didn't like it. I find it hard enough to do jobs where people really try and make it easy for you to do the job. Oh, do you want to get a cab here? Do you need any food? Oh, Christ! I don't feel well! I want to go home! Yeah. That sort of stuff, yeah. You alright, Matt?
Yeah, good.
Suppose we'll do the Sonic Enigma later, will we?
I think we have to listen to some news.
Let's listen to some news and put everything in perspective. Too much perspective.
This is a thing on the old job things.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm going to read it how he wrote it.
Go on then, Trev.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was looking for an army.
Right, stop.
What?
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I must say I have a job I have enjoyed.
Exactly.
Does he say that, Trev?
Yeah.
Matthew, would you authenticate that? Because I think Trevor is lying.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was look out for... Yeah, it's true.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, let Trev continue reading.
Oh, brave boys.
Well, I must say I had the job I have enjoyed was look out for an army. Not a real one, you fool. Brackets. I was looking...
Guy's bonkers.
He's arguing with himself.
Sometimes I argue with myself down my trousers, but whatever happens, I'm always the winner.
I was looking for the kids from the other street, and then when we saw them, we gave them a right good pelting with the conkers. Oh, and how we laughed when they screamed in pain as the spine stuck in their bodies. Ha, ha, ha. Bye, Johnny. P.S. And there's an idea for young Trevor to try, Russell. Matt, you could throw spiked objects at him and maybe you could laugh too.
Good idea, Johnny, and to think you ridiculed that young man when he's come up with a brilliant suggestion like that.
Luckily, there are no spiked objects or conkers or any natural things
That's
in
a bit
this
spiky.
artificial environment.
Let's throw this. Quite spiky. It's sort of like the nib of a pen. Pen nib.
It's always on there. Always look at it.
I wonder if this is our god. Maybe we should... Perhaps we should worship this thing. Perhaps we shouldn't be treating it with such disdain.
Can I just explain that I'm not pressing a canned laughter button? We've actually just...
Oh, yeah,
filled
some
the
people have
studio.
joined us in the studio. Competition winners, Ben and Nina. How are you, Ben?
I'm great, thanks, Russell. Yeah.
Did you? So you won the Sonic Enigma while we were absent, while me and Matt was in Germany. Obviously, we didn't take Trev for obvious reasons. Well, the Rolling Stones stipulated that Trevor Locke should not be allowed anywhere near him. They were worried about potential sex attacks, was what they were worried about. Ben, what was that? What was the Sonic Enigma that you got correct, mate?
The answer, it was Set Me Free by the Kinks.
Set Me Free by the Kinks. So well done. How do you feel about having to share mental space with a man who says, "Oh, it's a new moon. I feel different this morning"?
It was quite a bad day for me, I think, yeah.
It is, isn't it? It must be. I mean, all right, you've won the prize of coming in here, but it's in many ways a double-edged sword because you're sort of saying I share psychological space with Trevor Locke. It's difficult.
I think you're ungrateful.
Oh, no, not at all. I love it. It's brilliant.
Oh,
Sick.
yeah. Well, you just change with the wind, don't you?
Yeah. Same
Well, you changed with the moon, Trevor. Whereas, like, why is that any more different? You know,
Trevor, that was the worst Sonic Enigma ever because even my suggestion was better than the answer.
It was, actually.
Why were there monkeys in it? There was no reason for there to be primates.
Set me free.
What's that got to do with monkeys? Oh, yeah, monkeys. Whenever you meet a monkey, it always, the first thing it will do is demand its freedom.
Oh, stop it.
Liberty and monkeys. They're always hand in hand.
No, I'm saying...
Look at the Statue of Liberty. She's a monkey.
She's a monkey after all.
Set me free from my monkey. That's what I'm saying. Set me free from my own monkey.
What do you mean you haven't got a monkey? You don't have a monkey, Trevor.
We've all got a monkey.
Eat your fudge, Trev.
That
Stop
is the
claiming to have a
definition of a
monkey.
human being. Half monkey, half really clever monkey.
No, it's not, Trevor. You are entirely
Half
monkey.
angel, half monkey.
You think that's, and you think, oh, I'm so clever. Oh, I'm understanding a big theological idea about divinity and primary.
Monkeys are clever.
Monkeys, yeah, oh, that's another thing he's always on about, isn't he? He's always on about that gorilla that he reckons was trying to communicate to a kitten or something. Do you remember that? He's always...
No, that was a listener that came up with that.
Trevor, we all know perfectly well that you scurry off to the lavatory, interfere with yourself, then send a text into the show saying, Trevor's doing well, it's terrible the way you boys bully him. I read a story once about a gorilla that loved a cat and it wore suspenders, so Trevor's not that bad. Bye! Don't you?
That gorilla pulled a sink off the wall and then blamed it on the kitten with sign language.
What a ridiculous thing to say.
If you've just tuned in,
Yeah.
that just sounds insane.
If you've just tuned in, then good. You deserve that nonsense. Why have you just tuned in now? You've got the wrong radio station.
For all you know, there's been a car accident, Trevor, and they're trying to cheer themselves up. You horrible fiend. Let's put the pedal-lid god back on there, because ever since it's been moved, things have been weird in here. Also joining us are Joe, Kieran and Helen. Hello there.
Hello.
Right now, Kieran, Joe and Helen were at my gig last night. Kieran, you can be the spokesman for the group. Come up here, old bean. Now, I did a gig at a place called the Red Rose last night. A good gig, was it?
It was an amazing gig. It was like a comedy happening.
Comedy happening.
Early Dylan kind of thing.
Early Dylan
So
kind of
did you all
thing.
go home with Russell then?
This is really odd. That
Why?
you
What's
brought
odd?
members of your audience last night with
Why?
It's not odd at all, because look what's happened. They were at my gig last night. What was my gig like? It was a comedy happening, and another things you've asked me to read out.
You've mispronounced happening, Kieran.
Matt, this is the beginning. This is the beginning of that cult thing that he often talks about.
Yeah,
isn't
he
it?
does, doesn't he?
Let's not talk about the cult
He
thing.
beguiled us, that's all.
It was
Did he?
beguiling, wasn't it? But what about now? There was an awkward moment because there's these people in the front row.
I'm sure there were many awkward moments.
They were constructed. They were a happening. Those all- What you call an awkward moment, me and Kieran like to refer to as a happening. Trev. There were some people talking in the front row, and I sort of given them lots of opportunities to stop talking. Please stop talking. Please stop talking. Jokily, please stop talking. Pretended to sit on the floor of the stage, say right, I'm not going to talk, and then did loads of little jokes when they pleaded with me to start talking again. Then eventually, after a lot of provocation,
They crossed the line, didn't
they
they?
crossed the line in the sand and kept talking. So I goes, right, I'm not going to do any more comedy till these people leave. Right? And that was I was right to do that.
You were
wasn't I?
very right to do it. It was righteous, definitely.
I walked out.
Oh, right.
Was it? Because when he told me the story, I sort of thought, I bet someone whispered, right, I'm leaving now.
Yes.
It was quite funny. It was quite funny. Like, no, because it was. I mean, it was a bit sort of because I felt all sort of tired, and I was trying my hardest, and I kept asking them about 10 times to stop talking, really in nice ways, in funny ways, and I just thought, they can't just keep talking. There's nothing I can do.
Can I
to
just
stop
ask
talking.
you guys, could you not hear Russell because they were talking so loudly?
Yeah, but
Answer the question.
Trevor, you're like a Gestapo
Don't listen
officer.
to him. Don't listen to him. Remember,
Really like a
cast
nasty
your
answer
minds
to
back.
question.
Cast your minds back. It's about 10:30 last night. A man on stage talking into a microphone, which is plugged
any
into an
good?
amp,
Trev,
Any
you're not
good?
old
coming out of
Smith.
speakers.
Trevor, yeah, you are
hear?
leading the witness.
witness.
You're leading the witness.
Who could you hear? The girls or him? Answer me now.
Well, we could hear both.
Ah, good, see,
good
brilliant.
answer.
All
Good
your fails to manage justice, Trevor, have failed. This is like the 70s when poor Irish people were in prison for nothing because of people like you. Right, yeah. And then there was a bit where I walked out of the room. I walked out of the room, didn't I? And then there's a bit
Yeah.
you came out to follow me, Kieran. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, because I just felt so sorry for you, you know.
Because I've been unjustly
Well, it was
treated.
spreading, you know, they were chatting, and then other people thought it was okay to chat, you know. Now, this
I mean, they were so bored, these people. They were doing anything they
We
could.
talk now.
Good. Oh, thank God we can talk. Anything to distract us from that vile man droning on about his problems. No, it was a really good gig. It was really funny. But then when I came back in, it was really... I had to establish the atmosphere again. That was
you
tricky.
did, yeah, but you want it back.
Oh, I won it back. Won back the room. It was ever so good.
Okay, I'm convinced now that
Okay,
Russell was in
Kieran.
the right.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
I
I've
think,
convinced
yeah.
people.
Your
You sit back down
presence
there.
tells me that anyway.
Yeah, because otherwise they wouldn't have come if I was truly an horrid
If you
person.
talk in here, if anyone should utter a word in here,
Oh!
It's reminiscent of Nuremberg, but this is another one of those occasions where you thought, what would Hitler do now?
What would Hitler do?
He'd walk off.
Hitler would stand for that.
no one spoke when he was speaking.
No, they didn't, did they? You could always hear Hitler very clearly. Father! Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Oh, he's taller than he is on the telly, isn't he? Oh, blimey. And he nice. Oh, he smells of daffodils. I wonder if I could touch him on the leg. Things like that going on. Here is an email from Sebastian in Manchester. Was Trevor dropped on his head as a child? I think you should drop him on his head now to see if it sets him right. Also tell him, eat your fudge, Trev! Trevor, have you even eaten any fudge today?
I haven't eaten any fudge.
Were you dropped as a child, Trev?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's weird because Trevor's family
He's
clearly
got no
don't
memory.
like him much. They don't like. They didn't go to school sports days. They didn't go to parents' evenings. It seems as if from the moment that Trevor was born, they tried to distance themselves from it, as if it was a stain on a mattress. Just like, how can we get away from this event? That was sort of the attitude, wasn't it, Trev?
No, my mum and dad loved me.
Oh, come on, Trev! How could anybody love you, you ridiculous little creature? Trevor! I love you, Trevor. I love your little face. I love the way you lie and trick Italian girls. I love your drains with the dead flesh smells. Oh, Trevor! Oh, Trevor! Ever so clever, how can we not adore you? How could we bore you for murdering it just following your base instincts?
Are you
think
trying to get a job on some sort of West End musical?
No, but if you are listening, Cameron McIntosh, I'd just like to say, hip hip hooray, lovely day, mammy, swanee, whoop-de-doo-da. What gives you that impression?
Now, what you are missing there is the ridiculous dance that accompanies that nonsense.
Yeah.
That dance, Trevor, is a mating ritual, and
Yes.
if you are not attracted by that,
We're
it's
not of the same species, are we, Russ?
I don't think we
No,
are.
it would be
I
a
pray
crime
to
if we
God.
copulated.
Because I wasn't created on a petri dish. Two people who loved each other very briefly in a very difficult way. Add it off, and then it was too late to do anything about
His
it.
dancing looks like someone in a flick book.
That is
It's got no
sometimes
rhythm to it. It's just like
Sometimes it feels like that. I just wish I could turn the page. This is from Abby. Dearest Russell, Matt and Cocky Locky. I used to work in a very posh shoe shop where we earned commission on the expensive shoes. A few weeks after joining, a lady came in and all my colleagues said she was a regular and would often buy several pairs of these expensive Italian leather shoes. Being greedy, I staked my claim on this customer. She pointed out all the shoes she wanted to try on, and I did the dutiful thing and bought the shoes out from the stockroom. As I knelt down at her feet to place the shoes on her feet, as we were required to do, I realised that the gnarled, veiny feet were not those of a delicate woman, but were in fact the rather horrid feet of a trans tight vest. Oh, interesting bit of spelling. I looked back to see my colleagues laughing at my misfortune. Love oo all, Abby. Now, is that an email that victimises innocent transvestite people?
no.
Isn't it?
Not
Little
really.
bit. Little bit. Not
Well,
really.
but she doesn't say she had the feet of a man. She said she had the feet of a transvestite, as if that third gender's got something
Its own
worse
specific
feet.
type of feet, as if they've got raven's claws, or trotters or hooves or some kind of thing. You're quite right, Matt, and I consider that to be a prejudice, but Abby, you're a friend of the show.
But it's
nonetheless.
commission, isn't it? You're on commission. Doesn't
You're on
matter who buys
commission.
them.
Don't matter, yeah. I suppose if Satan came in, Matt, you would quite happily bind up his foot on a sandal if you thought there'd be 50p in a lollipop
Let's
in it.
judge me, Russell Brand, fan of Hitler.
I'm not a fan of Hitler. I'm just saying.
Hitler came in for some shiny new boots to crush people with. You go, oh yes, Mr. Hitler, I've read all your books.
I really like my struggle. It must have been a hell of a struggle. Why don't people listen to you?
Yeah, you know, it's very difficult in that castle.